The betting markets on the Australian election, the real money, and I couldn't believe it when I looked at it. The current government, maybe far left government, is according to the betting markets, they've got to have a look at the second leaders debate, so-called leaders debate, and well, I can see why the opposition may be where it is. I mean, what's really the difference? There's a few differences. The PM says something like, "I accept the science of climate change." I mean, why would you say that? You're a leader of a first world country. The opposition leader, when it comes to climate change, things like that, he come up with something like, "I'm not a scientist and people are not sure, and we do have to transition to net zero emission technology," or something like that. And yeah, we do have to transition to coal, back to coal, reliable baseload power, high efficiency coal-fired power stations. They can strip out most of the nasties, strip out most of the sulfur, strip out most of the CO2. CCS, carbon capture and storage, is being developed. It's all going to get burnt anyway, whether it goes China, Japan, wherever. In that debate, the PM also said something like renewables are the cheapest form of energy or power or something like that. And why when he said that, didn't the opposition leader just jump all over it? With so many Australians going homeless, there's over 3 million people by the gauge they use that living in poverty in Australia. The voice failed. Surely the opposition can pick something in the whole debate. I mean, even the Trans-Tasman travel agreement, previous 12 months financial year, something like 1.78 million New Zealanders, full working rights stay as long as they want in Australia. And the opposite way, in New Zealand now, there's something like 60,000 Australians. So how is that beneficial to the Australian worker? Got their hands all over housing, state housing. And what are these homes going to look like that they're going to build? Are they building like 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes out in the outer suburbs? Or are they building high-rises, windowless, so they're cheaper to build and things like that, and everyone has to live in these ghettos? And it may be in 20 years from now, the big thing in Australia will be being able not to live in a public housing. In my opinion, the state is not the answer to everything. Now that's socialism, control of the means of production, and you don't have to like hang an Australian flag next to a red hammer and sickle out on top of Parliament House in Canberra. You don't have to take over the factory. You can just do it through regulation. I don't think I heard DEI mentioned. There was gender mentioned at the end, but I don't know why the opposition isn't saying DEI scrubbed, there's no more DEI in the government. Also, this government wants to bring in something like the Future Made in Australia. And part of the act is something like a company must be going to net zero or contributing to net zero. I hope it doesn't go down the way the betting markets have it, but it sure looks like it might. But look, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.